Today is the start of Battlefest, which will run throughout October leading up to the start of Chapter 5, the Pacific. This week is named Tunnel Vision and it introduces the remake of Metro, which I'm really enjoying so far, but today's focus is on the new support weapon, the Madsen MG. You may remember it from Battlefield 1, but there are some notable differences between the two, one of which is the magazine capacity. The Madsen starts off with a modest 25 round magazine, but when upgraded it can carry up to 40 rounds, and that will enable you to take out multiple opponents in a single magazine. The rate of fire is set to 514 RPM, which is similar to the Bren, and that cannot be increased any further through the spec tree. The path I decided to take is quick reload, recoil buffer, extended mags, and in my opinion it's a must have as it makes it a lot more forgiving to use. And lastly, I went for Porter's barrel over faster bullets because it's Metro, but faster bullets should always be used on those medium to large maps to maximize its effectiveness in its intended range. Why do I say that? Well, the Madsen's damage model is completely different from the rest and caters towards medium to long range firefights. The maximum damage starts off at 22.5 and drops down to a minimum of 20.1 from 75 meters onwards. At first it may seem a bit average and really poor in close quarters, but the minimal damage drop off over distance makes it really strong over distance. The exact amount of damage loss is only 2.4, and that enables you to take out anyone with only 5 bullets regardless of distance. So whether you are at point blank range or 1000 meters away, the magic number is 5, and that of course can be narrowed down if you start to include headshots. So ideally you want to refrain from picking fights in extreme close quarters, as most weapons will outperform you, except if you're on a flank of course. And you should focus on those medium to long range targets, as this is where you'll be most comfortable using the Madsen. Now that we know it excels at long range, how does it compare to other similar LMGs like the Bren? Both share the same rate of fire and perform equally as well between 11 to 50 meters, but the Madsen becomes a lot better from 51 meters onwards. So in other words, the Bren is only better up to 10 meters, and when you take into account its smaller magazine, it becomes completely redundant unless you're fond of improved bipod mechanics. The Madsen has a muzzle velocity of 780 meters per second, which is 40 more than the Bren and Lewis gun, and that gap stays the same when both LMGs get their velocity upgrades too. This makes it ideal for long range firefights by reducing the amount of leading you'll have to do. When it comes to recoil, the Madsen has far less recoil than all other LMGs. It's really easy to use, and when upgraded with the right recoil buffers, it basically becomes a highly accurate, fully automatic laser beam. So in conclusion, the Madsen struggles in extreme close quarters and the large central magazine blocks some of your peripheral view, but its universal 5-hit KO range makes it extremely deadly from long range. The long muzzle velocity makes distant targets easier to land on, the large magazine makes it more forgiving, and the low recoil makes it super easy to control. In my opinion, it's a great addition to the support class, and that's mainly due to the small changes made to it. It now fills a vacant long range LMG role, and I can see it being my go-to LMG on those larger maps. But what do you guys think? Are you guys enjoying it so far, or will you stick to your favorite LMG? Do let me know in the comments down below, leave a rating, and I'll see you later. Take care.